Okay, before I go and jump in this video, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First off is my P.O. box. There are a few of you who have sent me things and they may have been sent back to you by mistake. And that has to deal with an issue that I was having with my P.O. box. I kept receiving things from the previous box holders and I complained about it a little too much to the point where things that said Comics Division were now being returned because, like a dumbass, I didn't have that name on the P.O. box. So yeah. Anyway, this issue has been corrected, and if you go and send things again, it will actually get delivered this time. The other big change is that I'm going to be using OBS to record videos from now on. Hopefully this will make the process go a lot quicker, and that means I can get more content out on a regular basis rather than like maybe 1, 2, 3 videos a week. So I'm trying to get to daily content, but we'll see. Also, I don't see the point in going through this process of spending 4 hours on a video if not a lot of people are going to watch it because I'm not making enough content and I'm being punished by the algorithm, or YouTube is just going around and suppressing shit. Now, YouTube has been getting a bit heavy with the ban hammer, and they've been going and terminating channels. So come January 1st with COPPA coming up, I'm not sure if I'm going to have a channel or not. So make sure to go and support me over on BitChute. And for all of you who are watching it there, sup. Welcome back, Pixel Nation. Comics Division here. How the hell are ya? Oh, and Solo lost money. So today I want to go and talk about the updates to YouTube's harassment policy. And before I get too deep into this, I want to make sure I have to specify that no, I'm not for harassment. I don't think doxing is cool, and I certainly think that it's pretty shitty to go and threaten someone's life. I have to say these things because it's 2019 and it seems like common sense has been thrown out the window. Anyway, I digress. Let's go and take a look at the harassment policy. Coming over here to the very first paragraph. Over the last several years, we have worked to improve the way we manage content on YouTube by quickly removing it when it violates our community guidelines. Okay, that's not an issue. It makes sense. Whenever somebody breaks the guidelines, it should be removed. Reducing the spread of borderline content. Okay, so why exactly are you reducing the spread of borderline content? After all, this is content that does not violate the guidelines. This just comes off as more YouTube fuckery. So what's the point in having guidelines if you're gonna go and punish people who don't break them? All right, let's get back to it. Raise up authoritative voices when people are looking for breaking news and information, rewarding trusted creators and artists that make YouTube a special place. Yes, emphasis on special. So what exactly does this mean? Well, it just means that YouTube only cares about brand-friendly content, ad-friendly content. For you who have an opinion on a subject out there, well, so much for broadcast yourself. YouTube used to be about giving a voice to the people, and now it's just about giving a voice to big corporations and the access media. Today we are announcing a series of policy and product changes that will update how we tackle harassment on YouTube. We systematically review all our policies to make sure the line between what we remove and what we allow is drawn in the right place, and recognized earlier this year that for harassment, there is more we can do to protect our creators and community. I don't know about you folks, but I think this sounds like YouTube is merely just trying to cover their ass and really just suppress content that doesn't line up with their ideology. Now, there's one thing I want to point out when it comes to harassment. YouTube is not like Twitter where you can go and barrage somebody with comments, and even then you do have the ability to go and mute and block people. For YouTube, you have to go and look for it. And it certainly seems that the updates to this harassment policy is going to go and directly target the commentary community. Now, if you go and criticize someone and criticize their arguments, that is not harassment. Nobody is immune to criticism. Not myself, not YouTube, not big celebrities, not people on Twitter. Several years ago, Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn were testifying before a UN panel talking about harassment. And the issue is, it wasn't about harassment. It was about them being criticized on the internet and wanting to go and silence those voices that were critical of them. Now, did they receive harassment? I'm sure they probably did. But overall, most of the things that they were calling harassment is really just criticism of their opinions and their ideology. But like I said, there is a block and mute function on Twitter, which means they could have simply silenced all those opinions and voices they didn't like. But of course, that doesn't fit their narrative. I think it's pretty clear that YouTube just doesn't give a shit about free speech. After all, they do have a hate speech policy, and hate speech is, whether you like it or not, free speech. And just because you support free speech does not mean you condone what is being said. Harassment hurts our community by making people less inclined to share their opinions and engage with each other. And you can say the exact same thing about this policy. It's equally going to have a chilling effect on YouTubers, feeling that they have to go and self-censor because if they don't, they're simply going to be nailed by the harassment policy. We heard this time and again from creators, including those who met with us during the development of this policy update. We also met with a number of experts who shared their perspectives and informed our process. From organizations that study online bullying or advocates on behalf of journalists. Okay, that's a huge red flag right there. What exactly does this mean? This is very concerning to me. I think this has something to do with the access media not liking being criticized by YouTubers. That's my opinion. Two free speech proponents and policy organizations from all sides of the political spectrum. Yeah, I'm not exactly buying that one. How about you guys? After all, YouTube's gotta appease the corporate overlords, at the same time making sure that the masses don't show up with pitchforks at their door. We remain committed to our openness as a platform and to ensure that spirited debate and vigorous exchange of ideas continue to thrive here. Yeah, I'm not buying that, YouTube. I'm really not. Free speech is fine as long as it's the speech we approve of. Now here's the thing I find so funny about all of this. If YouTube actually wanted to make sure that spirited debate and vigorous exchange of ideas was okay, they would not have this draconian hate speech policy. After all, hate speech is free speech, and they would just go after true harassment, not perceived harassment. But to me, it makes absolutely no sense to go after people who have skirted the policy, but have not actually violated it. Now, if you're a YouTuber, odds are you have received some hurtful comments, but if you're an adult, you ignore them and you just move on. However, we will not tolerate harassment, and we believe the steps outlined below will contribute to our mission by making YouTube a better place for anyone to share their stories or opinions, as long as it's opinions that YouTube approves of. A stronger stance on personal attacks. We've always removed videos that explicitly threaten someone. Yep, that's a good thing. I'm not going to complain about that. Revealing confidential information. Yeah, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. Nobody should be doing that. Or encourage people to go and harass someone else. Again, no problems here. So all these things that have just been stated are not an issue with me. However, this is where things get a little iffy. Moving forward, our policies will go a step further and not only prohibit explicit threats, but also veiled or implied threats. So what exactly does that mean? Is it something like saying go kill yourself or drink bleach? Because yeah, those could be viewed as implied threats, but in reality, it's just people being shitty on the internet telling you to go fuck yourself. And like I said earlier, every YouTuber has received shitty comments in their comments section, and it's just something we have to deal with, mainly just by going and ignoring them. Beyond threatening someone, there's also demeaning language that goes too far. You mean like calling somebody an alt-right Yahtzee or an incel? To establish a consistent criteria for what type of content is not allowed on YouTube, we're building upon a framework we use for our hate speech policy. We will no longer allow content that maliciously insults someone based on protected attributes such as their race, gender expression, or sexual orientation. I fully expect YouTube to go after people that attack straight white males, but I don't see that happening whatsoever. This applies to everyone from private individuals to YouTube creators to public officials. Now to me, this seems like that YouTube is trying to go and protect opinions and ideologies the internet specifically doesn't like. You know, things like feminism and social justice. Consequences for a pattern of harassing behavior. Something we heard from our creators is that harassment sometimes takes the shape of a pattern of repeated behavior across multiple videos or comments. Oh boy, we all know what this means. It's going to be the death of the commentary community reaction videos because those can be viewed as a pattern of harassing behaviors. This is specifically designed to take out channels like the Warskis. So, no more Francesca Ramsey response videos, even if any individual video doesn't cross our policy line. To address this, we are tightening our policies for the YouTube Partner Program to get even tougher on those who engage in harassing behavior and ensure we are rewarded only trusted creators. Channels that repeatedly brush up against our harassment policy will be suspended from the YouTube Partnership Program, eliminating their ability to make money on YouTube. And again, this isn't people who are violating the policy, but brushing up against it, and that is complete horseshit. And we all know that was specifically directed at Steven Crowder. We also remove content from channels if they repeatedly harass someone. So if you're going and criticizing somebody's ideas, I can guarantee you this will be considered harassment in the future. As I said, this is spelling death for the commentary community. If this behavior continues, we will take more severe actions, including issuing strikes or terminating a channel altogether. And there you have it, folks. This is the end of YouTube as we know it. You can take the U out of YouTube, and it's no longer about having the ability to go and broadcast yourself. And this is the reason why alternative platforms is so fucking important at this point in time. Now, before I continue, I'd like to introduce you to BitChute. Now, this is something I've talked about a lot, and in order for BitChute to be an actual competitor to YouTube, they need to be funded. Right now, it's only being run by 2 full-time employees, and at this point in time, their operating budget is only $13,000 a month. So they're at 43% funding. I know that Dave Cullen did a video about this, and a while back, it was only at 27%. We live in a time where competition is so vitally important. And if you do not support BitChute on Subscribestar, I highly suggest that you do. If you are a supporter of my channel, I know I have a few people, I would rather have you go and give your money to Subscribestar than give it to me. We need an alternative and we need competition in this space. And finally, we get to addressing toxic comments. We know that the comments section is an important place for fans to engage with creators and each other. At the same time, we have heard feedback that comments are often where creators and viewers encounter harassment. And as I've stated before, if you're an adult, you can just go and ignore these things, or you can just turn off comments altogether. This behavior not only impacts the person targeted by the harassment, but can also have a chilling effect on the entire conversation. Just like this harassment policy. To combat this, we've removed comments that clearly violate our policies over 16 million in the third quarter of this year, specifically due to harassment. The policy updates we've outlined above will also apply to comments, so we are expecting this number to increase in future quarters. That's right, folks, YouTube is bragging about censoring people. Now, I'm fine with giving creators the ability to go and control their comments. This does make sense to me. However, I think this is something that you should opt in rather than opt out of. We've continued to fine-tune our systems to make sure we catch truly toxic comments. Oh, brother. Not just anything that is negative or critical. Yeah, I buy that. And feedback from creators has been positive. Last week, we began turning this feature on by default for YouTube's largest channels with the site's most active comments section, and we'll roll it out to most channels by the end of the year. To be clear, creators can opt out. And again, this is something I feel that should be opt in rather than opt out. If they choose to leave the feature enabled, they will have the ultimate control over which held comments can appear on their videos. Alternatively, creators can also ignore held comments altogether if they prefer. So there is a reason why they're doing this. Most people aren't going to go and make these changes. You are less likely to go and opt out of something because it's there by default and it's a lot of trouble to go and turn it off than you are to go and opt in. All of these updates represent another step forward to making sure we protect YouTube communities. Yes, I'm sure YouTube's heart is in the right place, trying to protect us. We expect there will continue to be healthy debate over some of the decisions, and we have an appeals process in place if creators believe we've made the wrong call on a video. I'll be honest with you folks, that's rather laughable. I love the line about they expect healthy debate. And the reason why is because a lot of people out there have a problem with this, and quite frankly, and let's be honest here, YouTube doesn't give a fuck. All they're doing here is they're just trying to make YouTube a more safe and bland place for advertisers, because the content that they want on this platform is makeup channels and late night talk show hosts. As we make these changes, it's vitally important that YouTube remains a place where people can express a broad range of ideas. Of course, sweetheart. And we will continue to protect discussion on matters of public interest in artistic expression, most likely not. We also believe these discussions can be held in a way that invite participation and never make someone feel for their safety. Okay, here's the problem with that. That is all very vague. Yes, people should be safe from violence, but not harmful opinions. We now live in a world where words are considered to be violence, and they need to be protected from said violence, even though it's just opinions they don't like. We're committed to continue revisiting our policies regularly to ensure that they are preserving the magic of YouTube while also living up to the expectations of our community. And there you have it, folks. The death of YouTube, not with a bang, but with a whimper. This is the reason why we need to have competition in this space. Free speech is very important. And we do need to make sure that we can have these types of conversation without the threat of censorship. As I stated earlier, if you don't support me on BitChute, please do. And if you don't support BitChute financially, please do. Give them $1 a month if possible. Give them more. Give them more if you're able to afford it, because we desperately need competition in the free speech market when it comes to video sharing platforms. That's all I got for today, everyone. I'll catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video, go and make sure to smash that like button. And if you didn't, well, thanks for watching anyway. Make sure to bash subscribe for more of my crappy content and shitty opinions. Smash that bell for notifications. I don't think it works, but it makes me feel better to tell you to go and do it. And don't forget to support me on BitChute, because COPPA is just around the corner and my channel could magically disappear at the beginning of the year. I do have a PO box if you want to go and send me fan mail, and like I said, I got the issue fixed, so it actually will be delivered. And last but not least, I want to give a huge shout out to my supporters on Subscribestar. You guys are awesome. Especially you, EHuntington, who signed up for the I'm a sucker with a lot of dough tier. Why? I don't know. But hey man, thanks anyway. I truly do appreciate it. And if you'd rather give that money to BitChute, I'm perfectly fine with that.